We are in Fluid Mechanics Laboratory and the subject code is 18MEL57. In today's lab, we are conducting experiment number 11, which is air compressor. So in today's class, the aim of the experiment is to conduct performance test on the reciprocating air compressor. What we have is a two-stage reciprocating air compressor. In between those two stages, we have an intercooler. And to deliver air to deliver cooling air, we have a fan, and this entire mechanism is driven by a motor which is connected to the shaft of the reciprocating compressor with the help of belt drive. We study about reciprocating air compressor in thermodynamics, and we have seen this kind of reciprocating air compressor in a lot of area. For example, if you go to any fuel station and if you want to fill up air into your vehicle, then we go to air filling station, and in the air filling station, although we may not see this equipment in the air filling station, so this is the one which is supplying compressed air to our tires. And another application of the air compressor is that if you have seen any pneumatic machines working, we need a lot of compressed air to actuate them, and this is supplied by the reciprocating air compressor. The compression by positive displacement machine such as air compressor is more efficient when compared to compression by turbo machines. So in most of the application, it is easier to use the reciprocating air compressor. There are many applications where we go for reciprocating air compressor. If I take an example of our air filling stations in a petrol bunk, there the compressed air is supplied with the help of a similar reciprocating air compressor. If you go to an industry and if you see any pneumatic machines working, then we need to supply compressed air for the actuation of the pneumatic machines, and this compressed air is supplied by the reciprocating air compressor. These are some of the applications of reciprocating air compressor. Now let us go to the experimental setup and let us understand how the experimental setup is made and how to conduct the experiment. Later we will come back here for the observation, tabular column, calculation and viva questions. So let us see the experimental setup for air compressor. So here we have a two-stage air compressor. This is the low pressure stage and this is the high pressure stage, and we can say that looking at the size of the cylinders, you can see that there is the low pressure cylinder where the volume of gas will be higher, and as we compress it, then we have a smaller size cylinder which will occupy high pressure gases. So this is the first stage and this is the There is the air box. Here we have the inlet to the air compressor. So there is the inlet to the air compressor, and here we have the pressure tap. And on the other side, we have the orifice opening. The orifice diameter is 16 millimeter. Here, since we are dealing with a reciprocating engine, the flow will be intermittent. So because of that, and if you remember about the flow measuring devices which we studied in fourth semester, all the flow measuring devices are designed for steady flow. But here the flow is not steady, it is unsteady because it is varying with respect to time. So in this case, we will not be able to measure the flow rate with the help of devices such as orifice meter, which are designed for steady flow devices or steady fluid flow. So we will not be able to find out the discharge. So what we have to do is we need to use a larger area. So you have seen the air box. The air box is generally 10 to 15 times larger than the amount of air handled by the machine. So what it does is it smoothens the flow of air, although the flow will be intermittent, and you can see when we are conducting the experiment here, the water levels will be fluctuating, the aromatic fluid levels will be fluctuating. All that the use of air box reduces the fluctuations, thereby it will enable us to use the devices which are made for steady flow to measure the unsteady fluid flow in this case. That is the reason why we have air box, and generally whenever we have reciprocating devices and if you want to measure the amount of air flow into the device and out of the device, then we have to use air box. So if you have seen in the energy lab, for all the engines we have air box so that we can easily measure the amount of air brought into the cylinder. That is the purpose of air box. So we need to add. This manometer is a simple manometer because it is giving us the pressure difference between the atmosphere and the upstream of the orifice spring. Because of that, this will be a simple manometer. While conducting this experiment, we are concentrating only on the efficiency of the air compressor. So we need to know the input energy and the output energy. As I said, input energy is electrical energy. So with the help of energy meter, we will not only we will find out the energy input and find out the energy output. We need the pressure and we need the flow rate of air. So we will be noting down the manometer leg. We will be noting down the manometer readings as well as the delivery pressure. So what we do is we conduct this experiment for different trials. So in the first trial, we keep the delivery head at 1 kg per centimeter square. Then we will note down the energy meter reading and the manometer reading. Then we will increase the delivery pressure to 2 kg per centimeter square, and then we will note down the energy meter reading and the manometer reading. So in this way, we will increase from 1 to 5 kg per centimeter square, and then we can release gases and we can conduct the same experiment from 5 kg per centimeter square to 1 kg per centimeter square. We can conduct the same experiment either during the increase in the pressure, delivery pressure, or during the reduction in the delivery pressure. Now let us conduct the experiment. Now let us see the observation, tabulation and calculation. So the observations are: the diameter of the orifice is 0.06 meter or 6 millimeter. energy meter constant is 200 revolutions per kilowatt hour, and the number of energy meter disk revolutions which we are considering is 10 revolutions. The overall efficiency of motor and transmission put together is 0.7. Then the coefficient of discharge through the orifice is 0.6. Area of the orifice is 2.01 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter square, and the density at STP condition is 1.2 kg per meter cube. So I have tabulated here all the values. So we have H1, H2, these are the manometer readings. I have tabulated here all the values for different trials. So H1 and H2 are the heights of the manometer limbs. These will be in terms of water. So the difference is here, and this should be converted into head in terms of A. So for that we have this relationship. HA will be equal to rho W HW divided by rho A into 1000. So when we substitute each of the value, we get it as 83.3, 87.5, 83.3, 87.5 and 87.5 meters. Then we need to find out the actual discharge. Actual discharge will be equal to A into V. That is the continuity equation, area into velocity. So area, we know that the area of the orifice is 2.01 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter square. Now we need to find out the velocity through the orifice. So velocity is given by root of 2g h into c. So when we substitute here, we get the actual discharge for different cases. And then we need to find out the delivery pressure. We measure delivery pressure in terms of kg per centimeter square. That should be converted into meters of air. So for that we have the same equation here. Instead of h, we have the pressure here. So 9.81 into P into 10 to the power of 4, because we are converting centimeter square, which is in the denominator, to meter square. So 10 to the power of 4 divided by rho air into G. So when we substitute, we get head in terms of meters of air. Once we get the head, then we can find out the output power. Output power is given by rho into G into Q into H divided by 1000 to convert the power into kilowatt. Rho GQH or rho QGH is the fluid power. So we have the delivery head here, we have the discharge here, and we know the density of air at standard STP condition, and G is 9.81. When we substitute those values, we get the output power. And this is the time taken for 10 revolutions of energy meter disk for the corresponding trials. And with the help of the energy meter equation, that is N into 3600 divided by KT, multiplying the efficiency of motor and transmission, we get the input powers. So the input powers are tabulated here, and when we divide the output power by input power, we get the efficiency, which is tabulated here. For the first trial, efficiency was 17.17%, second trial it was 31%, third trial it was 42, and fourth trial it was 52.8. For the fifth trial it was 61.9%.